The average human lifespan is approximately 1,000 months. Yes, 1,000 months. That is 83 years and 4 months. When we describe human lifetime as 83 years, it can sound like a long time. 8 decades feel distant. They are difficult to picture as a whole. But 1,000 months is different. 1,000 is a number we all can imagine, right? We could draw 1,000 squares on a piece of paper and remove 1 square for every month. Because if we all drew 1,000 squares on a piece of paper and removed 1 for every month, suddenly a human life would no longer feel like an endless stretch of time somewhere ahead of us. We would see that our life is a limited quantity and that we are spending it continuously. But we do not consciously experience all 1,000 months. So let's do the mathematics. So the average human spends approximately 1/3 of their life sleeping. 1/3 of 1,000 months is around 333 months. If we subtract those 333 months from 1,000 months, we have 667 months remaining. Sleep is not a choice or a failure. It is biologically necessary. The body needs it to survive and to function, but it still means that around 1/3 of our entire lifetime passes without us consciously participating in it. Before we have considered work, illness, responsibilities, or anything else, our 1,000 months have already become 667 remaining. Then we have employment. The average person may spend 40 years, sometimes even more, working a conventional full-time job, a 9-to-5 job. If the average person works for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for let's say 40 years, the hours spent physically working add up to approximately 10 continuous years of their life. And that is close to 120 months. Now subtract those 120 months from the 667 waking months, and we are left with roughly 547 months. Rounded down, that is around 540 months. Think about it for a second. Just 540 months remaining after subtracting the time and amount of sleep and the hours sold through employment. That's rough. And then there is the way we use what remains. And this is where it becomes very, very sad. The average person in today's day and age spends around 3 hours every single day doom scrolling on TikTok or other social medias, watching Netflix or other streaming services, consuming one piece of content after another. And I know 3 hours does not sound like much when it's contained inside one day. But here's also the thing, 3 hours is 1/8 of a full 24-hour day. Repeated across a lifetime, 3 hours per day can accumulate into approximately 10 years. And that's another 120 months that people waste away doom scrolling social media, watching Netflix or other streaming services. So let's go back. We began at 1,000 months. We subtracted around 333 months for sleep because that's necessary. We can't really do much about that. We subtracted approximately 120 months for accumulated working hours, the time we are more or less forced to give away. Then we subtracted another 120 months, lost to 3 daily hours of scrolling and passive entertainment. What remains is roughly 420 months of your life. That is roughly 35 years, and even that calculation is incomplete. It does not subtract your childhood years, all the years you spent in school, commuting, housework, maybe shopping, I don't know, appointments, illness, or all the time we spend recovering from the demands placed upon us. It does not account for declining health or the fact that the final years of life may not offer the same energy, mobility, freedom, and possibilities as the year that came before them. So the amount of genuinely free, conscious, self-directed time in a human life may be much smaller than 420 months. Now, let me place my own life inside this calculation. I was born on May 13, 1991. At the time of making this video, I am 35 years old. I have completed 422 full months of my life, and I am currently living through month 423. That means I have already lived slightly more than 42% of my 1,000-month lifespan. I am approaching the halfway point, and I'm only 35. The halfway point, my halfway point, 500 months, will arrive when I am 41 years and 8 months old. And that is not old. It is not somewhere in an unimaginable future. It is just a few years away. I never think about my age in years. I actually have never approached my age in years, but when I think about my age in years, 35, I still feel young, both mentally and physically. It does not feel as though I should already be approaching the middle of an entire human lifespan, but 422 months makes the passage of time visible in a way that 35 years doesn't. And there is something even more unsettling in the comparison. As I mentioned earlier, after subtracting sleep, accumulated working hours, and 3 hours of daily passive screen use from the 1,000 months, we were left with approximately 420 months. I have already lived 422 months. The amount of time that may remain genuinely conscious and available across an average life is roughly equivalent to the entire life that I have already lived. That is how little time we are discussing. And yet, when we look at how many people live in today's society, in today's day and age, there appears to be very little awareness of this limitation. Human beings are more or less Netflixing their way to death. It's so fucking sad. When I heard this phrase, it was from a scientist. Sadly, I don't remember his name at the moment. But when I heard this phrase, it was said so plainly, and it becomes difficult to ignore. Because I agree. Human beings are Netflixing their way to death. And it's so sad, because people are not only dying eventually, we're all gonna die, but many are actively passing the time until death arrives. And that's so fucking sad. We wake up, we go to work, we come home exhausted and sit in front of a screen, go to sleep and repeat the same damn pattern every single day. And one day becomes a week. 1 week becomes a month. 1 month becomes a year. And eventually, decades have passed. At that rate, people might as well start digging their graves. It sounds harsh, but what else are we supposed to call a life spent continually trying to make time disappear? I'm genuinely out of words. It's so fucking sad, man. Because the majority of people, they want their workday to end. They want the whole work week to end. They wait for Friday. They wait for their holiday. They wait for retirement. And while they wait, they fill the remaining hours on screens. Then they fear death when it arrives. Human beings want to live longer, but spend much of their lives trying not to notice that they are alive. We wish hours away and then wish for more years. We complain that life is short while repeatedly searching for ways to make it pass faster. We say that we are bored, as though being conscious inside an entire world is not enough unless something is constantly being placed in front of us. Just to be clear, I'm not arguing that nobody should never ever watch a movie, watch Netflix, play video games, or rest in front of a screen. I play video games myself sometimes, and sometimes I treat myself to enjoy a movie or watch Netflix or whatever. There is a difference between choosing to watch something that interests you and automatically reaching for a screen because you do not know what else to do with yourself. There is also a difference between enjoying entertainment and using entertainment to remain absent from your own life. So the problem is not one evening spent watching Netflix. The problem is when passive consumption becomes the default state of a person's free time. It is opening an application without deciding to. It is allowing the algorithm to choose what receives your attention. It is emerging hours later without remembering much of what you saw, only to do the same thing again the next day. 3 hours disappears because 3 hours do not feel significant while they are passing. But if repeated every day, those ordinary hours becomes years. Because that is how life disappears. Not always through one dramatic loss, but through small portions that never seem important enough to protect. Read a book. Write a book. Write something. Paint. Draw. Sing. Build something. Learn an instrument. Study a language. Or study a subject that interests you. Go outside. Move your body. Exercise. Spend time with someone you love. Do something that requires you to participate in your own existence. This is not about making every hour into productivity, no. And it is not about monetizing every hobby of yours, or building a personal brand, or creating a business, or judging the value of life through visible achievement. No. Because that would only allow the same system that controls our working lives to invade our remaining freedom. Honey, a painting does not need to be sold. Writing does not need to be published. Reading does not need to benefit a career. A walk does not need to produce data. Rest does not need to make us more productive tomorrow. Something can be worthwhile simply because we were present while doing it. The real distinction is not between productivity and laziness. It is between participation and sedation. But passive entertainment is only one part of this discussion. The deeper issue is that before people surrender their remaining time to doom scrolling or whatever, a substantial part of their life has already been taken from them through compulsory employment. We calculated approximately 120 months of accumulated working hours, but that number does not reveal the complete cost of work. Those 120 months are distributed across approximately 40 years. 40 years is 480 calendar months. For close to 480 months, employment influences when a person wakes up, when they sleep, when they eat, where they must be, what they wear, when they are allowed to travel, and how much energy remains when they return home. The employer may officially purchase 8 hours of our time, but the job shapes the entire day. There is time spent preparing for work. There is the commute. There are unpaid breaks. There is no journey home. Then there are thoughts about work. Majority tend to bring thoughts about work home with them, even after their workday has ended. There is also the exhaustion that turns an evening supposedly belonging to you into recovery time for the next shift. Then the weekend arrives, and much of it is spent doing what there was not enough time or energy to do during the week. Cleaning, shopping, cooking, washing clothes, managing the home, and preparing to begin again on Monday. The pattern repeats. So when we say that work takes approximately 120 months of our lifespan, we are only counting the hours formally sold to an employer. We are not counting the 480 months organized around those hours. We are not counting the energy work removes from the rest of life. We are not counting the opportunities that disappears because a schedule belongs to someone else. And we are not counting that this arrangement takes from the people we love. When employment takes our time, it also takes time that could have been spent with our partners, children, parents, friends, animals. It takes away time from conversations that never happened. It takes ordinary afternoons with people who will not always be here. It also takes time that could have been spent on creating, learning, thinking, moving, resting, or doing anything that made the life feel like our own. Employers often tend to receive the most alert, capable, and energetic version of a human. Our loved ones receive what remains, the exhausted version, the distracted one, the version preparing mentally for the next day, the next shift. Isn't it quite ironic that we all say that family and love are the most important parts of life? Yet society is organized so that the people we love receive the remnants of our time. And surprisingly, very, very few people appear willing to question why. The majority seem to just accept this as the way of life. People question whether they are being paid enough. They question their managers. They question their schedules, colleagues, and working conditions. Sure, those questions matter, but underneath them is a more fundamental question. Why are human beings forced to give away the most precious and irreplaceable thing they possess merely to earn the right to remain alive? Why? When it comes to employment, work is often presented as though it were a biological necessity, like sleep. It's not. Human beings need food, shelter, care, cooperation, and practical effort to sustain a community. But that is not the same as the modern system in which most people must sell the strongest hours of their days to an employer in exchange for access to food, housing, healthcare, and security. The need for food is biological. Compulsory wage labor is an economic arrangement. Those two things are not identical, no matter how often we are taught to treat them as though they are. We are told and taught that giving decades away of our life is simply adulthood. Children are prepared to enter employment before they are even old enough to understand what it will cost them. Adults are often defined by their occupation, and many tend to identify with their occupation. Exhaustion is treated as maturity. Productivity is confused with personal worth. Unemployment is treated as a moral failure. People may be encouraged to choose a different employer or career, but they are rarely encouraged to ask why the basic structure demands so much of a finite life. Even the phrase earning a living should make us stop. It implies that living is something we must earn. We are born into this world, folks. Yet access to the conditions required to remain here already belongs to someone else. To obtain shelter, food, and security, most people must surrender portions of the only life they will ever have. We call this an exchange, but the two sides are not equal. Money can be replaced, time cannot. An hour is not merely a unit on a clock. It is an hour of consciousness. It is part of someone's existence that will never happen again. So when we sell an hour of our time, we do not only give away 60 minutes. We give away every other possibility those 60 minutes could have contained. And because the loss occurs 8 hours at a time, it becomes ordinary. If someone took 10 years of your life all at once, you would understand the magnitude of what had been taken from you. But when those years are removed in small daily portions, spread across 40 years, we call it normal. We call it normal. And then, after the employment has taken the strongest part of the day, screens are waiting to consume what remains. The two problems are connected. Many people do not return from work full of energy and then freely choose to spend every evening passively consuming content. They return mentally depleted. Entertainment becomes a form of anesthesia. Anesthesia? Maybe I pronounced that wrong. Sorry. It helps them avoid feeling the exhaustion, dissatisfaction, boredom, or emptiness created by a life organized around work. The screen makes the evening disappear. Then sleep follows. Then the alarm rings the next morning. Work takes the day, and entertainment numbs the awareness of its loss. This is why telling people simply to stop watching Netflix or doom scrolling, putting down their phones, is incomplete. We have to ask why people are so desperate to escape their own lives. We have to ask why the freedom remaining after work often arrives in a body and mind too exhausted to use it. And we also have to ask, who benefits when human beings remain too tired, distracted, and entertained to question the structure consuming them, eating their souls? The 1,000-month calculation is not merely a reminder that life is short. It is a question of ownership. How much of your life actually belongs to you? How much is taken by biological necessity? How much is claimed by systems you were born into? How much is given to people you genuinely love? How much is spent doing things you consciously choose? And how much disappears because you were trying to make time pass? I want to live as long as my health and body allows me to. But simply adding more months is not enough. What is the value of extending a lifespan if those additional months are spent waiting for the workday to end? What is the value of reaching 1,000 or even 1,200 months if most of them never truly feel like your own? We speak constantly about living longer, and we live longer today. Perhaps we should speak more seriously about whether we are living now. I mean, I have already completed 422 months out of 1,000. And who knows, I may live far beyond 1,000 months, or I may receive far fewer. None of us knows our final number. But I know that every completed month is gone permanently. It's gone. You will never get it back. And I know that life does not only disappear when death arrives. It disappears while we wait. It disappears while we wish the day away. It disappears while somebody else decides what our hours are worth. It disappears while an algorithm decides what receives our attention. It disappears quietly enough that we may not notice until decades have passed. The average human lifespan is approximately 1,000 months. After sleep, work, responsibilities, and passive consumptions have taken their portions, the time that truly belongs to us is frighteningly small. So the question is not only how long you want to live. The question is how much of your life are you willing to be present for? And how much of it you are willing to continue giving away.